All right, in our last article, we have one more article, but we don't really have time for it. This one I thought we'd talk about before the show ends, and this is going to be a fun one. So, PlayStation takes credit for the initial Tomb Raider launch, and Saturn fans aren't happy with that. I don't know if you saw that, but a couple weeks ago, we celebrated 25 years of Tomb Raider, which first appeared on the Saturn on October 25th, 1996 in Europe, exclusively on the Saturn. North American fans may remember it that were released on the 14th of November in 96, but the EU fans got a nice treat experiencing on the Saturn for a few weeks before it dropped on all the other consoles and PlayStation. But sadly, 25 years later, many fans are under the impression that it came out on PlayStation first, including PlayStation itself in the UK, which is a bigger sin because that's where the game came out earlier first in. So basically, they posted 25 years ago, Lara Croft arrived on PlayStation. That is not true entirely. Maybe in a like a week or two. And people are tweeting out shade to them.
Dan's post feels a little bit melodramatic, but I can't disagree with it.
Which one?
Dan Driver. It's on the article.
Oh, on the bottom of it. Yeah, we'll go.
Yeah.
Basically. Ooh, that's a cute guy. He said, "Yep, rewriting any history is dangerous, especially when companies do it for their own sort of promotion. It may seem trivial, but erasing the Saturn debut of Tomb Raider from the public conscience in favor of the PlayStation just isn't right and sets a worrying precedent." So I think he has somewhat of a point. I do think a lot of people that sort of got used to the fact that, oh, well, it was more successful on PlayStation, so that means it came out on PlayStation first, which is not how it works at all. And ironically, a lot of North American fans probably would think that way because it did come out on the same day for PS1, PC, and Saturn. So I can understand people's confusion with that. But I do think it is worrying in a way.
So did PlayStation make that tweet on October 25th?
Yeah.
Okay, so they know the correct date because that is when it came out on Saturn in Europe.
Yeah.
And how do you screw that up?
It's called people thinking that PlayStation is where Lara Croft came from. But if you think about it, like if you say Lara Croft, what system is she associated with, you're gonna hear PlayStation. While technically it was supposed to be a exclusive on Saturn, that of course changed and got even worse by the fact that Sony paid them money to make it exclusive. Especially, here's a description of what happened exactly. If you guys aren't familiar with the way that the exact process happened, so Sony PlayStation uses all the money and chops off the Tomb Raider 2 for themselves. So essentially, they paid IDOS all that money and got exclusivity, console exclusivity on the PS1, while Saturn did not get any other Tomb Raiders after the first one, sadly. Which is a big slap in the face because there was once supposed to be a Sega Saturn exclusive experience, but then, of course, money happens and Saturns fail, and sadly, it didn't happen. Which was a bummer, really. It's a big bummer. And I think I wrote about, it's interesting that if you have enough money, you potentially rewrite history, and if you're successful enough, you can rewrite history. So I guess this is the victors write history, and of course PlayStation being the victors, technically, I guess they could do what they want in an incorrect world, but we got to keep the true history alive that it actually came first on Saturn and was a Saturn child. But yeah.
So the thing about that is that the exclusivity didn't last very long. And to answer Shadow Mask's question, so it came out in Europe on Saturn in Europe on 25th of October, and then 14th of November in North America, it did North America, Saturn, and PlayStation. It is Saturn, PlayStation, and Microsoft at the same time. DOS, not Windows, which is kind of weird considering how 3D the game is. Like at that point, they would have had 95 to work off of, but whatever.
I mean, you can launch DOS things from 95, so.
Yeah, you can. It had native DOS support up until like at least XP, I think. But yeah, that's not really the point. The point is, for a North American, it's easy to make the mistake because that's when we did get it all at the same time for two consoles and PC. But in Europe, Sony of Europe making that mistake is weird because they're the last people to get it. No, sorry, Japan's the last people to get it. But in Europe, PlayStation didn't get it until after
Saturn.
Saturn obviously got it first in Europe, and then everyone in North America got it first.
Yeah, it's kind of a big sadness, and it just goes to show how unrepresented the Saturn is and how people really associate Lara Croft with the PS1, which I think people really kind of view the same thing. I mean, now it's changed where they release it on multi-platforms. That Square Enix owns it, weirdly enough.
So, if as long as we're rewriting history, can we just go ahead and assert that only the European Saturn version of Tomb Raider has a working nude code?
Yeah, Nude Raider works in the Saturn version, guys. If you want Nude Raider, play the Saturn version. That's confirmed by me.